No law, no peace. Hey, I can't see no sign of peace. A lot of my people, they die in the street. A lot of my people, they die to eat. No law, no peace. Hey, I can't seem to find no peace. Walking through the street like Galilee, and the police playing hide and seek. No law, no peace. Hey, I can't see no sign of peace. A lot of my people, they die in the street. A lot of my people, they die to eat. No law, no peace. Hey, I can't seem to find no peace. Walking through the street like Galilee, and the police playing hide and seek.
No law, no peace, no power, no heat, no bread to eat, no guidance to teach. 2 kids, 1 bed, no covers, just sheets. So you know we cold and hungry, we can't wait to rest in peace. Them shots ringing out all night, you can hear the blood cry in the streets. Come on down to Baltimore, baby, where your life measured in weeks. No love for the sheep, more like food for the wolves and the goons. They showing they teeth, they thinking we sweet. Till we hit the block with the flock and 1,000 boots marching your street in the belly of the beast. More like the devil's aim is from Park Heights down to DC. Think we a disease, no we not COVID-19.
Good morning, Israel. Most High Christ bless, shalom. I'm also Deacon here from Philadelphia, IUIC Philadelphia. Let's start off with Romans 15, verse 4. Let's get right into it. This is the last portion of the Matthew 5. It's been a long time coming, so let's just get it over with, and let's keep it moving. And mind you, this class was inspired by, there was a debate a couple of years ago that Deacon had done with a Christian pastor over here in Philly. And he has stated within that debate that Christ never taught the law, that when he came and started preaching, especially in Matthew 5, that he never taught the law was something new. So that's why I went into Matthew 5. This is the 4th part, I believe. But let's just get it over with. Let's begin with Romans 15, verse 4.
Romans chapter 15 and verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning.
So as we always know that what we have in the scriptures, what was written before us aforetime, it's talking about the scriptures in the old days, right? The Bible, what was written back then was written for us to learn from, not for us to put our own understanding into, but for us to learn and ingest and apply to our lives, right? Read.
That we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope.
That through patience and comfort. We have to have patience when we're going through the scriptures. It's not something you rush. It's not something you just trying to get a one-up on somebody. Because that's all I see today with these Christians, these apologetics, these so-called, all these debates that you see online. It's just people trying to clip a moment. Instead of trying to really ingest and understand and do better in life, they're just trying to one-up somebody else. That's all that's going on. There's no patience. There's no comfort. Read. That's it? Yes, on that one? All right, let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 7. Because there's a theme with the Matthew 5 classes that I've been doing. There's a theme behind Matthew 5, and it's about the mind, the heart. All right, read.
Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 7. Mm-hmm. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations.
Consider the years of many generations. Consider the days of old. Why? Read.
Ask thy father, and he will show thee.
Ask your father, and he's going to show you the days of old, the things of old. Read.
Thy elders, and they will tell thee.
And they will tell thee, because the Lord has put the Spirit on the bishops, the deacons, the captains, the officers, so on and so forth, to teach us, to bring us back to our fathers, to give us the understanding via the Spirit, via the words of the Bible, right? That's what we have to do. We have to go back to the scriptures, to have patience, to have comfort, to have a good understanding, to learn the laws, so the Lord could put the Spirit upon us so we could see with our eyes what's in here, right? Read that again.
Remember the days of old. Mm-hmm. Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee. Thy elders, and they will tell thee.
Your elders, and they will tell you. Why? Because now your mind, your heart is going where? Back to the scriptures. You're searching out the scriptures. You're going back to what's written aforetime for you to learn from, right? Give me Malachi chapter 4. Start at verse 4.
Malachi chapter 4 and verse 4. Remember ye the law of Moses, my servant, which I commanded unto him in Horeb for all Israel.
Notice how we read Romans 15 and we tied it back to what? The law of Moses, Deuteronomy, because what's commonly known as the law of Moses is the first 5 books, or what they call the Torah as well. So in Deuteronomy it was stated, go back to your elders, your father, and they're going to tell you. Was written aforetime is written for our learning. Our forefathers, their stories are in here in the scriptures. They've been written for us to learn from, to apply to our lives, right? Read.
With the statutes and judgments. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord.
Yeah, read.
And he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children.
How that's going to happen? By teaching us the scriptures. By teaching us the heart of our fathers are in the scriptures. Read.
And the heart of children to their fathers.
And the heart of the children to their fathers. Our mind, our heart is going to be turned back to our fathers. Read.
Lest I come and smite the earth with a curse.
So that's what we're doing. What was written aforetime is written for our learning. Our heart, our mind is going back to the heart of our fathers. The heart of our fathers is going back into our heart so we could be in one mind, one spirit. So we could learn from the scriptures and not deviate and do our own thing and create our own doctrines and denominations and all this nonsense that's out here, especially with white man Jesus and all the false ideologies that you have out there. No, we're going back to what the scriptures say. We're going back to the heart of our fathers, as thus saith the Lord is written in here, right? For our comfort, our patience. All right, finish there?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go. Let's start with Matthew chapter 5, verse, let me see. I know we ended at verse 30. Let's start at 31.
Matthew chapter 5 and verse 31.
So notice the theme, like I had stated earlier. With Matthew 5, the heavy theme is on not just going through the motions of the law, right? Because the Pharisees were appearing themselves to be righteous, especially when you read Matthew 23 and throughout the Gospels, right? Christ was always rebuking the Pharisees because they were appearing righteous before people, but they weren't really doing the things. Their mind wasn't really right. They were just doing things to be seen, right? And that's not how we're supposed to move. Our mind is supposed to be perfect. Our thought process is supposed to be perfect. And we're going to end with that when we finish Matthew 5 so the whole thing could be understood. So let's start. Yeah, read. All right.
Matthew chapter 5 and verse 31.
Uh-huh.
It hath been said, whosoever shall put away his wife, let him give her a writing of divorcement. But I say unto you, that whosoever shall put away his wife, saving for the cause of fornication, causeth her to commit adultery. And whosoever shall marry her that is divorced, committeth adultery. Again, ye have heard that it hath been said by them of old time, thou shalt not forswear thyself.
No, wait. You started at 30 or 31?
31.
Okay, my bad. Started 31 again. I was reading somewhere else.
Verse 31. It hath been said, whosoever shall put away his wife, let him give her a writing of divorcement.
So it says, whosoever shall put away his wife, let him give her a writing of divorcement. You read that in Deuteronomy 24, verse 1 down, where Moses allowed our people, because of the hardness of our hearts, a.k.a. sin, because of our rebellious heart, right, which we're going to read in Matthew 19, he allowed us to give a bill of divorcement. Because actually, let's read that, Matthew 19. Christ addresses this with the Pharisees. Like I stated earlier, these guys were wicked as hell, right? They were very hard-hearted, stubborn people. Read.
Verse 9?
Start at verse 3.
Matthew chapter 19 and verse 3. The Pharisees also came unto him, tempting him, and saying unto him, is it lawful for a man to put away his wife for every cause?
You see, so they're asking him, is it lawful? They're asking him for a law. Is it lawful to put away your wife for any cause, for whenever you want to do it, for any cause? Her food's too cold or whatever nonsense cause because they want to fulfill the lust of the flesh. For any cause is it lawful? Because they were abusing the law. They were abusing it and abusing our sisters, making them whores. All right? Read.
And he answered and said unto them.
Now remember, their question was, is it lawful to put away your wife for any cause? Is it lawful? So what's he going to respond with? The law. Read.
Have ye not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female?
So he responds with the very beginning. In the beginning, it was not so. In the beginning, when Adam and Eve were created, he didn't make them to have many, to put away his wife. In the beginning, it was not so. So he responded with the law. Yes, it's a law. Read.
And said, for this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh. Wherefore they are no more twain, but one flesh. What therefore God hath joined together, let not man put asunder.
You see, and that's what the Pharisees wanted to do. What God has joined together, let not man put asunder. Read. What was their question?
They say unto him, why did Moses then command to give a writing of divorcement and to put her away? And he saith unto them, Moses, because of the hardness of your hearts, suffered you to put away your wives.
See, for the hardness of your hearts, for your stubbornness, your rebellion, right? He suffered us to put away our wives, just like he suffered us to take wives of these other nations because we were hard-hearted. We were stubborn and rebellion. Our mind was not right. There was no belief in the word. If these Pharisees, who are supposed to be the leaders and the teachers of the word, are supposed to know these things. Remember, it was written aforetime, it's written for our learning. They're supposed to know these things. So why are they asking these simple questions? Why they being foolish? They being what? Simple as hell, asking these dumb questions. Read.
But from the beginning it was not so. And I
remember,
say,
actually, go back to verse 3 so you can see.
Verse 3, the Pharisees also came unto him, tempting him.
You see, they came to tempt him. That was the intention behind this questioning, to tempt them to see, is he going to answer right or wrong? Because they knew these things. They were tempting him. They weren't being sincere. Their mind was not right. They were being the same hardness of heart that we had, that Moses allowed us to have a bill of divorcement, is the same hardness that you're seeing here. They come into Christ to tempt him and just try to catch him in his speech. Go back to, was it 8?
At the end of 8.
All right, finish that in 8 then.
He saith unto them, Moses, because of the hardness of your hearts, suffered you to put away your wives. But from the beginning it was not so. And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, committeth adultery. And whosoever marrieth her which is put away, doth commit adultery.
So there's only one lawful way in order for you to put away your wife. She has to commit fornication. If it's not for that, you got to stay with her. I don't care what happens. Same thing for the wife. You're stuck with that man. You're married, you're stuck. That's it. You are stuck. So there's no putting away. The Lord hates putting away. Let's stop doing that. Let's go back to Matthew 5, verse 31.
Matthew.
Actually, give me Genesis 2:24, where Christ was quoting from. Genesis 2:24.
Genesis chapter 2 and verse 24. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh.
See, and that is the law. Is it lawful to give a bill of divorce? No. From the beginning, it was not so. When he created man and woman, it was not so. What God has put together, let not man put asunder. Let not man divide. It's not to be done, all right? Let's go to Malachi, chapter 2, verse 14.
Malachi, chapter 2 and verse 14. Yet ye say, wherefore? Because the Lord hath been witness between thee and the wife of thy youth, against whom thou hast dealt treacherously, yet is she thy companion?
So we were dealing treacherously with our wives, and the Lord was witness to it. Read.
And the wife of thy covenant?
And the wife of thy covenant. Why? Because it had to be a covenant of marriage. There had to be what we call a contract today. What is it? A wedding, a marriage certificate. All right? For those BHIs who believe that you're not supposed to have marriage papers. Oh, it's the white man's. Why is it saying the wife of thy covenant? Because there's supposed to be a paperwork. It's not just a crayon on a napkin. No, there's supposed to be paperwork. Wife of thy covenant. We had registries. We had birth certificates. We knew our lineage. We knew who was married to who, how, because there was documentation. We read that also in Tobit chapter 7. Go to Tobit chapter 7, verse 14. We always had documentation, so I don't know where people come with this idea as the white man's paperwork. They got that from us. We had the order and the structure to know who descended from who was married to who, how, because of documentation. It wasn't just all willy-nilly going off of a whim. Read.
Tobit chapter 7 and verse 13. Then he called his daughter Sarah, and she came to her father. And he took her by the hand and gave her to be wife to Tobias, saying, Behold, take her after the law of Moses, and lead her away to thy father. And he blessed them.
Take her after the law of Moses, right? And take her away, lead her away, join yourself to your wife, cleave unto your wife, like the law says in Genesis 2:24. Don't be hard, don't be a rebel. Read.
And called Edna his wife, and took paper, and did write an instrument of covenants.
Paperwork, marriage certificate. That's the wife of your covenant. Read.
And sealed it.
Signed it. Right? Let's go back to Malachi. The wife of thy covenant. 2:14 again.
Malachi chapter 2 and verse 14. Yet ye say, Wherefore? Because the Lord hath been witness between thee and the wife of thy youth, against whom thou hast dealt treacherously. Yet is she thy companion, and the wife of thy covenant? And did not he make one? Yet had he the residue of the Spirit? And wherefore one? That he might seek a godly seed.
Because once a marriage comes along, what happens? Babies, children, pregnancy, if a family begins, all right? So he's seeking a godly seed between husband and wife. And we're not talking about miscegenation or interracial marriage or marrying outside your race. No, that's considered fornication in the Bible. We're not supposed to be doing that. Yes, even in the New Covenant, in the New Testament, it's considered fornication. All right? The proof of that is Revelation, where it says one of the churches was going after the doctrine of Balaam. What did Balaam do? He had us what? With the Moabite women and following their gods. It's considered fornication. Do not marry these other women. Do not marry these strange women of these other nations. Don't marry these strange men of these other nations. It is fornication. All right? He's seeking a godly seed. Read.
Therefore, take heed to your spirit, and let none deal treacherously against the wife of his youth.
Read.
For the Lord, the God of Israel, saith that he hateth putting away.
He hates when men deal treacherously and put away their wives. Read.
For one covereth violence with his garment.
Utilizing the scriptures as trying to find loopholes in the scriptures in order to put away and do evil. Wise to do evil. No, the Lord said it. That's how it is, and that's it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Read.
Saith the Lord of hosts, therefore take heed to your spirit, that ye deal not treacherously.
Take heed to your spirit, that ye deal not treacherously. Give me John 15, verse 22. Look, with the laws of Esau, right, you see all the time where there's loopholes and there's ways around their laws. There's always a void somewhere. We're used to doing that with Esau's laws, trying to find loopholes. With God's laws, we're not supposed to be doing that. We're not supposed to be dealing that way. We're not supposed to be having that mindset. We're supposed to have faith in the word of God. Have a clean heart towards the word. Read.
John chapter 15 and verse 22. If I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not had sin. But now they have no cloak for their sin.
They have no excuse to keep on sinning. No cloak, no covering. Because what? Our people, like we see today, they utilize the scriptures to cover sin, to continue in their sin, to have an excuse as to, look, let's sell weed in the church. Let's do tithe. Where is all this stuff in the scriptures? They want to debate about the Holy Trinity, the virgin birth, this, that, and the third, but they don't want to speak about the things that are happening in our community, how to better our people that are out there selling drugs, that are out there fornicating, hating one another, killing one another. These things are fixed by applying the laws of God. The one thing that the so-called Christian church does not want to teach on, does not want to apply, does not want to get our minds right. That's the one thing they avoid teaching. They talk about everything else but that. You finished there?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go back to, where were we? Matthew? We
5.
finished Malachi 2:16, right? Yep.
Yes, sir.
Let's go back to Matthew 5.
Matthew chapter 5 and verse 31. It hath been said, whosoever shall put away his wife, let him give her a writing of divorcement. But I say unto you, that whosoever shall put away his wife, saving for the cause of fornication, causeth her to commit adultery. And whosoever shall marry her that is divorced, committeth adultery.
And that's all considered hatred if you do that. You're not loving your neighbor as yourself if you're doing these things, all right? That's why leadership, and the scriptures first and foremost, the Lord, and leadership is always letting us know, look, one of the most important, if not the most important decision you're going to make in your life is choosing your husband and or wife, all right? So you have to take your time. Let it not be because of lust. You have to take your time improving the person and choosing and making sure you go through the right avenues to be married. Don't just be hasty, all right? You have to prove the person to see if y'all even compatible, all right? Leadership could only, pair somebody up from what they see and know. It's your job to now prove the person. Don't be too hasty and now speaking about things I shouldn't be speaking on, and now the relationship is based off of things that the foundation ain't the scriptures. It's based off of your lust. It shouldn't be so, because it's one of the most, if not the most important decision you will make in your life is choosing your husband and your wife. So take your time. Don't be hasty. Control your spirit and your heart. Read.
Again, ye have heard that it hath been said by them of old time, thou shalt not forswear thyself, but shalt perform unto the Lord thine oaths. But I say unto you.
So let's get that. Leviticus 19, verse 12, I believe. Let me see. Yep.
Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 12. And ye shall not swear by my name falsely, neither shalt thou profane the name of thy God.
So don't swear by his name falsely, meaning don't say you're going to do something and not do it. Don't go and blaspheme the name of the Lord, meaning you're going to go against what the scriptures say. Let's go back to Matthew 5, 34, right?
Yes, sir.
Got it.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 34. But I say unto you, swear not at all, neither by heaven, for it is God's throne.
All right, give me Numbers 30, verse 2. Because what was going on during this time, right, when Christ was saying these things? The Pharisees, we're going to read it in Matthew 23. During this time, primarily, of course, the Pharisees, the Sadducees, they were trying to circumnavigate these things by swearing on other things but the Lord. Oh, I'm going to swear on my mama or my mama's grave or whatever it may be, the sky, the earth, and this and that. They're trying to circumnavigate these things. Again, trying to find loopholes. All right, read.
Numbers chapter 30 and verse 2. If a man vow a vow unto the Lord and swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceedeth out of his mouth.
You're gonna have to do whatever you say you're going to do. Let your communication be clear. Let's go back to Matthew 5. Actually, give me Deuteronomy 23, verse 22.
Deuteronomy chapter 23 and verse 22. But if thou shalt forbear to vow, it shall be no sin in thee.
All right, that's it?
Yes, sir.
So if you don't vow, there's no sin in not vowing. Because if you do vow, you're going to be held to that vow. You're holding your soul to that vow. All right? Let's go back to Leviticus 19. Do verse 11.
Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 11. Ye shall not steal, neither deal falsely, neither lie one to another.
You see, so that's the scripture right before it says, don't swear by his name falsely. Why? Because you're lying. You're dealing falsely when you do these things, so you got to be careful. It's okay if you don't vow a vow. You're not held to it. If you don't vow a vow, you're not held to it. So it's better not to vow because guess what? You don't know what's going to happen. You say, oh, I'm going to do this. I vow it. And then something happens and you can't fulfill it. You're stuck because that's what you vowed. Let's go back to Deuteronomy 23, verse 22.
Deuteronomy chapter 23 and verse 22. But if thou shalt forbear to vow, it shall be no sin in thee.
Shall be no sin in thee. Let's go to, let me see, Ecclesiastes. Chapter 5. Verse 5.
Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and verse 5. Better
Actually,
is...
start at verse 1.
Verse 1. Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of God, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools. For they consider not that they do evil.
You don't consider that you do evil when you're over here vowing a vow and you're not keeping it. And you're coming to the Sabbath. You're coming to give your body as a living sacrifice. And you're not keeping your word. You're vowing vows and you're not keeping your word. You're not considering that what you're doing is evil, doing these things. Read.
Be not rash with thy mouth. Let not thine heart be hasty.
Don't be so hasty to speak and say things that you don't even know if you can keep and hold up to. Read.
To utter anything before God. For God is in heaven, and thou upon earth.
And thou upon earth. Read.
Therefore let thy words be few.
Verse 5.
Verse 5. Better is it that thou shouldest not vow, than that thou shouldest vow and pay not.
You see? So it's saying the same thing as we read in Deuteronomy 23, verse 22. It's all right. If you don't vow, it's not sin. Read verse 3.
Verse 3. For a dream cometh through the multitude of business, and a fool's voice is known by multitude of words.
By multitude of words. Oh, I swear to God this and that and this and that. And the multitude of words want to not sin. Like we read in Proverbs 10, verse 19. Read.
When thou vowest a vow unto God, defer not to pay it, for he have no pleasure in fools.
Because if you don't pay, God is calling you a fool. Read.
Pay that which thou hast vowed.
Uphold what you speak. Be a man of integrity. If you say you're going to do something, do it. Don't vow a vow and then you're known now. You have a pattern. Oh, this guy just lies. I can't really believe him. He says he's going to be here at this time. He doesn't show up. Because you vowing vows just to please man. That's all it is. You're a man pleaser by saying you're going to do things and you don't do it. You're not, there's no integrity in you. And now you're known for being a liar, for being somebody that doesn't hold up to vows. So be circumspect. Don't vow a vow. You're better off not doing that if you know you're not going to be able to do it. All right? It goes back to communication as well. Let's go back to Matthew 5.
Matthew chapter 5 and verse 34. But I say unto you, swear not at all, neither by heaven, for it is God's throne.
If you swear by heaven, that's God's throne. Read.
Nor by the earth.
Nor by the earth. Why?
For it is his footstool.
It's his footstool. Because now you're trying to circumnavigate instead of swearing on the name of the Lord. Oh, I'm going to swear on heaven. I'm going to swear on earth. But it don't matter. It's the Lord's anyways. Read.
Neither by Jerusalem. For it is the city of the great king. Neither shalt thou swear by thy head, because thou canst not make one hair white or black. But let your communication be yea, yea, nay, nay. For whatsoever is more than these cometh of evil.
Cometh of evil. Let your communication be clear, straightforward, because anything outside of that is evil. All right? Give me, where is it? Matthew 23. Let's see what the Pharisees were doing. Matthew 23, verse start at 16 down to
Matthew
22.
chapter verse 22.
That 16 to 22.
Matthew chapter 23 and verse 16. Woe unto you, ye blind guides, which say whatsoever shall swear by the temple, it is nothing. But whosoever shall swear by the gold of the temple, he is a debtor. Ye fools and blind, for whether is greater, the gold or the temple that sanctifieth the gold?
So now what's going on here? They say they swear by the temple, right? Say it again. Woe unto you, ye blind guys, which say, whosoever shall swear by the temple, it is nothing. But whosoever shall swear by the gold of the temple, he is a debtor. So they're holding the gold of the temple to a higher esteem, to a higher standard, right? To a greater glory than the actual temple itself. Read 17 again.
Verse 17. Ye fools and blind, for whether is greater, the gold or the temple that sanctifieth the gold?
The gold is sanctified by the temple that the Lord said, hey, build for me. So you could sacrifice, so the Levites and the priests could be in there to purify and atone for the sins of Israel. Read.
And whosoever shall swear by the altar, it is nothing. But whosoever sweareth by the gift that is upon it, he is guilty.
He's guilty. So he say, if you swear by the gift, the sacrifice on the altar, you're guilty. But the altar itself, forget about it. Don't worry about it. It's just an altar. Read.
Ye fools and blind, for whether is greater, the gift or the altar that sanctifieth the gift?
The altar is what sanctifies the gift. The altar is what makes the gift holy to give you an atonement for that time being, until Christ came, of course. So notice the trend. They like this monetary, physical, material stuff, the gold, the sacrifice, the gift, because what happens, they benefited from those sacrifices. They got a portion, if it wasn't a burnt offering, of course, because the burnt offering had to be burnt up completely, but they retained a portion of those gifts, those sacrifices. They lived off of these things. Read.
Whoso therefore shall swear by the altar, sweareth by it, and by all things thereon. And whosoever shall swear by the temple, sweareth by it, and by him that dwelleth therein. And he that shall swear by heaven, sweareth by the throne of God, and by him that sitteth thereon.
So he's reproving the Pharisees because of the things they were doing. What? Give me verse 5.
Verse 5. But all their works they do for to be seen of men.
Everything they did was to be seen of men. All the swearing and the grand words and the long prayers, like we read earlier in verse 14, the long prayers and the things they were doing all of that was to be seen of men, to be man pleasers. Their mind wasn't right. They didn't have the right mindset. Okay, is it lawful to put away your wife for any cause? For the hardness of their hearts, for the rebellion in their heart, to tempt Christ, to try to catch him in his speech. Their mind was not right. Their mind wasn't for their people. They were about themselves, pleasing themselves. Even though they knew the scriptures, they just couldn't see because they were in the lust of their flesh. They were blind. They were just worried about what pleases me, what makes me feel good. All right, let's go back to Matthew 5. Was it 34?
35.
30. No, we were at 37.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yep.
So 38.
Read 37 again.
Matthew chapter 5 and verse 37. But let your communication be yea, yea, nay, nay. For whatsoever is more than these cometh of evil. Ye have heard that it hath been said, an eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth.
Mind you, everything we've been reading so far, right, goes back to the law. So who would Christ be preaching to on his mount when all he's citing and quoting is the law? It can't be anybody else but Israel, because not everybody was given the law. No other nation on this planet was given the law but Israel. And we read that, give me that in Psalms. Nobody else. So why? Who else is going to understand the intricacies of what Christ is talking about besides his people? Of course they'll know the intricacies and what he's quoting and what he's talking about because it's in them. Read.
Psalms chapter 78, verse 5. For he had established a testimony in Jacob and appointed a law in Israel.
You see, in Israel, so they're going to understand what he's talking about. Guess what? Our people don't know the law. So when they read Matthew 5, they're thinking that Christ is talking about something completely new. No, he's not. It's already been there. There's no need for him to go into details about every single thing when it's already been written. So you could paraphrase, all right? Let's go back to Matthew chapter 147. Yeah, let's read that too.
Psalms chapter 147 and verse 19. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes, and his judgments unto Israel. He have not dealt so with any nation. And as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord.
Known them. And read that part again, that last part. As for his judgments.
And as for his judgments, they have not known them.
We not just got the law, but we also got the judgments. The judgments themselves are laws, because if you break the law, there's a judgment for breaking the law. So there's a law for breaking a law. So the judgments, they did not know it because they didn't get those judgments. They weren't imputed sin. They were never given consequences. Oh, if you do this, this is what you get for breaking that law. This is the sacrifice you have to give. This is what you have to do in order to atone. Or you have to be stoned or killed and give your life up for the sin you committed. No other nation was given those judgments. And what we just been reading are what? Judgments. Christ is talking about judgments. So in order to avoid those judgments, say, yo, don't vow. If you want to avoid the judgment of adultery, don't put away your wife. If you want to not fornicate and then get the judgment for fornication, don't be looking at women and lusting after them. If you don't want to be judged for being a murderer, don't hate your brother. If you don't want to be judged like these hypocritical Pharisees, don't break the law, because there's a judgment for it. But now in Christ, we're free from that judgment. If we believe in him, obviously. Read.
That's it.
Matthew 5, was it 38? My bad.
Yes, sir.
Finish that in Psalms. I don't want to cut it off.
Praise ye the Lord.
Praise ye the Lord. Read 5:38.
Matthew chapter 5 and verse 38. Ye have heard that it hath been said, an eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth. But I say unto you, that ye resist not evil, but whosoever shall smite thee on thy right cheek, turn to him the other also.
This is a law. He's again quoting a law. Read 38 again.
Verse 38. Ye have heard that it hath been said, an eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth.
All right, give me Exodus 21, verse 24. I think it's all here too. It's in the margins. Exodus 21:24.
Exodus chapter 21 and verse 24. Eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burning for burning, wound for wound, stripe for stripe.
My bad, hold up. Let me get over there real quick. Give me 1 second. Let's start at 22.
Exodus chapter 21, verse 22. If men strive and hurt a woman with child, so that her fruit depart from her, and yet no mischief follow.
The baby doesn't die. If a woman is pregnant, and for some reason there was an altercation, and she has the baby comes out, and it's still alive, right? No mischief, meaning it's still alive. It didn't die. Read.
He shall be surely punished.
He shall be surely punished, right? Read.
According as the woman's husband will lay upon him, and he shall pay as the judges determine.
So there's still payment for it, right? There's a judgment for it, right? Read.
And if any mischief follow.
If any mischief follow, let's say that there was a miscarriage, right? Meaning, or an abortion, because it's still death. Read.
Then thou shalt give life for life.
Life for life. Why? Because that baby in the womb is a life. All right? This day and age, they're trying to circumnavigate that and say, oh, it's not if it's not born, it's not life. No, it's a bunch of nonsense. It's life, all right? Read that 23 again.
And if any mischief follow, then thou shalt give life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burning for burning, wound for wound, stripe for stripe.
Read.
And if a man smite the eye of his servant or the eye of his maid, that it perish, he shall let him go free for his eye's sake.
So, we had our own people as servants. And if we would smite our servant and mess their eye up, they have to be let go free. Because you messed their eye up, let them go. That's enough payment. Because our people used to serve our own people when we used to get into debt. So we owed said person of our own people money. So we worked for them. We became their servants. If that master smited their servant where they messed their eye up, hey, you got to free that person. That's it. Their debt is paid because you messed their eye up. Read.
And if he smite out of his servant's tooth or his maidservant's tooth, he shall let him go free for his tooth's sake.
You shall let him go free for his tooth's sake. Likewise, the same thing. So let's go Leviticus 24, verse 20. Actually, 19.
Leviticus chapter 24 and verse 19. And if a man cause a blemish in his neighbor, as he hath done, so shall it be done to him. Breach for breach, eye for eye, tooth for tooth. As he hath caused a blemish in a man, so shall it be done to him again.
So we're reading these laws, right, in the old covenant, under the old covenant of animal sacrifice, under the old ministry of the Levitical order, right, Aaron's priesthood, that if there was a blemish caused, you had the right or the lawful right in order to cause the blemish likewise. Tooth for tooth, eye for eye, this and that and the third, right? So there was, in the other case, if there was a debt, that debt was paid because your eye was messed up or your tooth was messed up. So it was quid pro quo, basically. This happened, so this is so it was like there was a balance, all right? You finished there?
Yes, sir.
Let's go now to Deuteronomy 19, verse 21. Actually, let's start a little earlier than that because I know it's going into Inquisition. Deuteronomy 19, verse... Let's just start at 18. Just a good.
Deuteronomy chapter 19 and verse 18. And the judges shall make diligent inquisition. And behold, if the witness be a false witness and have testified falsely against his brother, then shall ye do unto him as he had thought to have done unto his brother.
So if a false accusation, a false witness is determined, right? Or found out, if somebody lies against somebody else about some sin and it's inquired and it's found out that that person is lying, whatever judgment would fall on the person that's been lied on for whatever sin that they may have committed but was a lie, it falls on the person that lied. All right, read.
So shalt thou put the evil away from among you, and those which remain shall hear and fear, and shall henceforth commit no more any such evil among you.
Because that's a deterrence. If people find out, hey, you shouldn't be lying, because if you get found out, whatever judgment would fall on the person you're lying on is going to fall on you instead. So that would deter people from what? Bearing false witness. Because they know, hey, if I get found out, which of course it always happens, I'm going to be guilty of the judgment that I wanted to fall on that person. Read.
And thine eye shall not pity, but life shall go for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot.
Foot for foot. And mind you, remember when the Pharisees came and brought the woman caught in adultery, and they did it completely wrong. They didn't bring the man. There was all these things they were doing wrong, right? They wanted her to get what? Stoned. So they should have been stoned likewise. Eye for eye, tooth for tooth. But the Lord had mercy on them as well. Just like he did on her. It wasn't just on her, but on them as well. That's why they got pricked in their heart and they left. He that has no sin, throw the first stone. Because they knew they were wrong. And the way they went about it, it was not lawful. They tried to tempt the Lord by doing that. Because they knew what they were doing was wrong. And they got caught. Where we at?
Oh, Matthew.
We finished Deuteronomy. Let's go, back to Matthew, verse 39.
Matthew chapter 5 and verse 39. But I say unto you, that ye resist not evil, but whosoever shall smite thee on thy right cheek, turn him the other also.
So this is going back, like I said, quid pro quo, right? Like if they smite you, if you're a servant, you owe them something. You're already their servant. You owe them something. You're paying off a debt. Hey, don't resist the evil. All right? Yes, that master, I'm thinking, was it in Peter's? Is it Peter's 2? I think. Or Peter's. Yeah, Peter's 2:19. Yeah, 1 Peter 2:19. Yeah. 18. Yeah, read 18.
1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 18. Servants, be subject to your masters.
Servants, be subject to your masters. Whether they're harsh or not, be subject to them. Read.
With all fear.
With all fear. Why with all fear? Because according to the law, you're supposed to be paying off that debt to that person that you owe. That's the righteous thing to do. Read.
Not only to the good and gentle.
Not only to the good and gentle person that owes you, that you owe money to, that you owe a debt to. Read.
But also to the froward.
Also to the froward. Also to the person that's hard to deal with. That might speak to you harshly. That might deal with you wrongly. There's no speculation like, oh, okay, you can only pay off that debt if that person is nice to you. No, you owe that person. Now, it doesn't justify that person for dealing with you wrongfully, but we're talking about the person that owes, that's in debt. Read.
For this is thankworthy, if a man for conscience toward God endure grief, suffering wrongfully.
This is thankworthy. In the eyes of God, it's thankworthy for that servant to suffer wrongfully. Not only is he paying off that debt, but he's also suffering on top of the debt that he already owes. So it's thankworthy in God's eyes for you to suffer wrongfully, to suffer grief. Read.
For what glory is it if when ye be buffeted for your faults, ye shall take it patiently? But if, when ye do well and suffer for it, ye take it patiently, this is acceptable with God.
See, this is acceptable to God, to suffer wrongfully. This is on the person that is the debtor, on how to deal with the evil that our people do towards us. Don't avenge yourself. Don't hate your brother, because that builds what? Resentment and hatred. And now you want to avenge yourself. Don't do that. Give me Leviticus 19:18.
Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 18. Thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
Don't avenge or bear any grudge against the children of your people. Just because they do evil to you, don't go back and render evil for evil. It's in the law. Don't avenge or bear a grudge. Don't get bitter against your people. Because we do a lot of evil-ish to our people. And then what? We avenge one another. That's why we have the killings and the gang wars and all this. We got ops on this block and that block. They kill somebody here. Now we got to kill one of them. And it's never ending. Why? Because we're trying to avenge one another. We have hatred and bitterness and strife. Christ is teaching us how to end it, how to stop it up here. And it goes for us as well. We start murmuring and backbiting and talking nonsense. That's the beginning of it. That's the beginning of hatred in your heart. You thinking evil on your own people. And you start murmuring and gossiping and talking nonsense. That's the beginning. Where we at? Leviticus 19:18?
Yes, sir.
Let's go to 1 Corinthians 6, verse 7. There's nothing new. All this is in the law. All of it is in the law. Read.
1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 7.
Let's go.
Now, therefore, there is utterly a fault among you.
Let's start 4.
Verse 4. If then ye have judgments of things pertaining to this life.
Pertaining to this life, read.
Set them to judge who are least esteemed in the church.
Why? Because at that time, the Corinthians, the leaders, they weren't judging things righteously. So Paul is kind of telling him, yo, if you're not going to do it, let the young men do it because you don't want to deal with this thing, right?
I speak to your shame. Is it so that there is not a wise man among you?
Mm-hmm.
No, not one that should be able to judge between his brethren.
Uh-huh.
But brother goeth to law with brother, and that before the unbelievers.
So instead of them judging matters righteously in the spirit of Christ, they were going to the Pharisees, to the scribes, in order to judge matters. And we already know they weren't judging matters properly. They were accusing Christ of breaking the Sabbath when he never did. There was no law against what Christ was doing, not once. And they knew it, because if they did catch him, they would have what? They would have killed him. But they couldn't, and they knew they couldn't because they were just making stuff up. They were not judging righteously. That's what we read. Go back to Matthew 23, because Christ talks about this in Matthew 23 right after what we read in Matthew 23 earlier from the swearing. 23 verse, I think, 23. Yep.
Matthew chapter 23 and verse 23. Mm-hmm. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites!
Hypocrites. Why?
For ye pay tithe of mint and anise, anise and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law.
And they omitted the weightier matters of the law. So they're paying tithes and doing this and all that because what? The tithes benefit them. So they're doing doesn't that sound like the Christian churches today? They're paying tithes and they're omitting the weightier matters of the law, which is what? Judgment. They were omitting judgment. So they weren't judging things properly. Read.
Mercy.
They were being merciless in their judgment. Read.
And faith.
They had no faith. They didn't believe because they were doing their own thing. They thought that the temple was theirs. They thought that the people was theirs because they sat at Moses' seat. They forgot their purpose and their role. It was to guide the lost sheep. It was to guide God's people. To be wise judge, remember, wise judges. That's why Solomon, when he prayed to the Lord, don't give me riches, don't give me, don't make me poor. And the Lord gave him wisdom beyond his years in order to judge his people the right way, because it's a serious matter. It's not just being in a leadership position. You got people's lives in your hands. You're taking care of God's people, his chosen people. Don't take it for granted. All right. Where we at? My bad. Where we at right now?
1 Corinthians 6.
So, yeah, read that. Finish it.
1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 5. Mm-hmm. I speak to your shame. Is it so that there is not a wise man among you? No, not one that shall be able to judge between his brethren. Mm-hmm. But brother goeth to the law with brother, and that before the unbelievers. Uh-huh. Now, therefore, there is utterly a fault among you.
There's a fault among you, right? Give me Deuteronomy 25, verse 1. There's a fault among you, right? Now, what does the law say about that?
Deuteronomy chapter 25 and verse 1. If there be a controversy between men, and they come unto judgment, that the judges may judge them, then they shall justify the righteous and condemn the wicked.
That's how it's supposed to be. They would justify the righteous and condemn the wicked. But we know the Pharisees were not doing that. They were not doing that at all. They were being unrighteous judges. They were being merciless, and they had no faith. So here the Corinthians, they were going to these people, to the law, to the unbelievers, to judge their matters, knowing that, yo, these guys aren't going to judge properly. Are you really going to go back to that? Read. 1 Corinthians 6 and 7, my bad.
1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 7.
So there's a controversy, there's a fault amongst brothers, and they're going to go to the Pharisees to deal with the matter, knowing that these people are not going to deal with it properly. Read.
Now, therefore, there is utterly a fault among you, because ye go to law one with another. Mm-hmm. Why do ye yet not rather take wrong?
Why don't you just take wrong? Take the low. Suffer wrongfully. Have mercy. Have faith that the Lord is going to have your back. Don't avenge yourself, because our people are quick to do so. If someone does wrong to them, we want to do wrong to that person right back. Leave it alone. It is thankworthy for us to what? Suffer wrongfully, to take the low, to take the wrong. Even if you're right, hey, take the wrong, because guess what? We deserve a lot more than what we were getting. Read.
Why do ye not rather suffer yourselves to be defrauded?
Suffer yourself to be defrauded. Give me Micah chapter 7, verse 9.
Micah chapter 7 and verse 9. I will bear the indignation of the Lord, because I have sinned against him, until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me.
You see, he's going to execute judgment for us. You finished there?
No, sir.
Finish.
He will bring me forth to the light, and I shall behold his righteousness.
So you got to wait. You got to be patient. Remember, we read it in the beginning of the class, right? Through patience and comfort of the scriptures, we're going to find hope. So knowing that what we're going through, we got to suffer it. We got to suffer the indignation of the Lord. And know, hey, he's going to have your back. If you stay faithful in his scriptures, in his word, in his law, statutes, and commandments, in the faith of his son, Jesus Christ, he's gonna have your back. Do you believe that? Because if you take matters into your own hands, you're showing the Lord that you do not believe. And guess what? Hey, there's your reward. You want to avenge yourself. That's it. There, you got it. You got it. You don't need the kingdom. You're doing it yourself. Believe in the word. You got to take hold of this flesh and conquer it. Don't let the lust of the flesh overcome you. Don't let bitterness, hatred, malice, or lust overcome you. We're supposed to overcome this flesh via the Spirit of the Lord, via his law, statutes, and commandments. You finished there?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go back. We read, actually, no, there's I got another scripture here written. Let me see if I want to read it. Proverbs 20, verse 22. Yep.
Proverbs chapter 20 and verse 22. Say not thou, I will recompense evil, but wait on the Lord, and he shall save thee.
He's saying the same thing. Give me 24, verse 29.
Proverbs chapter 24 and verse 29. Say not, I will do so to him as he hath done to me. I will render to the man according to his work.
Don't render evil for evil, all right? Treat others as you want to be treated. Give me Sirach 28, verse 1.
Sirach chapter 28 and verse 1. He that revengeth shall find vengeance from the Lord, and he will surely keep his sins in remembrance.
He shall surely remember your sins because you took it upon yourself to avenge yourself. If you can't forgive your brother, the Lord is not going to forgive you. Remember in the Lord's Prayer, forgive our debts as we forgive our debtors. If you can't forgive your debtor, how you expect the Lord to forgive you when we owe him a lot more? Keep reading in Sirach 28.
Forgive thy neighbor the hurt that he hath done unto thee.
Forgive him. Forgive him for the hurt. Read.
So shall thy sins also be forgiven when thou prayest. One man beareth hatred against another, and doth he seek pardon from the Lord? He showeth no mercy to a man, which is like himself, and doth he ask forgiveness of his own sins? If he that is but flesh nourish hatred, who will entreat for pardon of his sins? Remember thy end, and let enmity cease. Remember corruption and death, and abide in the commandments.
See, abide in the commandments. Forgive your neighbor the hurt that he did unto you. Because if you try to avenge yourself, the Lord's not going to forgive you either. Let's just read the Lord's Prayer in Matthew 6, verse. Let's read the part. Where is it? 12.
Matthew
6,
Matthew
12.
chapter 6 and verse 12. And forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors.
Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Verse 14.
For if ye forgive men their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you.
Read.
But if ye forgive not men their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses.
Let's see Luke 17. How are we supposed to forgive? Verse 3. 17 verse 3.
Luke chapter 17 and verse 3. Take heed to yourselves. If thy brother trespass against thee, rebuke him.
Go talk to your brother face to face, one-on-one. If there's a cause, a fault amongst you, you got to debate your cause with your brother. Don't go off murmuring and telling other people what's going on. Debate your cause. Go to the person. Rebuke them. Read.
And if he repents, forgive him.
If he repent, forgive him. This is Christ speaking. He's letting us know how to forgive our neighbor. If he repent, forgive him. You can't forgive somebody if they don't repent. Likewise with us. The Lord cannot forgive us if we do not repent. That's why here in Matthew 6, that's the Lord's prayer from Christ. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. If you don't forgive your debtor, if he repents, then you're not going to be forgiven either. You have to do what you're expected to do according to the scriptures. So the way we forgive is what? If our neighbor repents. So likewise, the Lord's going to forgive us if we repent. We can't just keep going, spitting in the face of the Lord and expect him to forgive us. Forgive us for what? For continuing to do evil and not stopping and showing some kind of remorse and sincerity towards his word? That makes no sense. Let's go back to Matthew 5.
Matthew chapter 5 and verse 40. And if any man will sue thee at the law.
So if anybody sues you at the law, again, it makes it really clear. If anybody sues you at the law, because who was being sued at the law? It was nobody else but Israel. Israel was the only one that was given the law. Read.
And take away thy coat. Mm-hmm. Let him have thy cloak also.
All right, give me Exodus 22, verse 26.
Exodus chapter 22 and verse 26. If thou at all take thy neighbor's raiment to pledge.
To pledge. Why? Because that neighbor owes that person money or whatever kind of debt, right? So you have to take a collateral, right? Read.
Thou shalt deliver it unto him, by that the sun goeth down.
So you got to give that person back that collateral, that cloak or whatever it may be, their clothing, read.
For that is his covering only.
That is his covering only. Because that's the only kind of a blanket or whatever he got, because he's so downtrodden. He's so poor. That's all he has. And you have it as collateral because he owes you money. Yo, give it back to him. Have mercy, man. Love your neighbor as yourself. Read.
It is his raiment for his skin. Mm-hmm. Wherein shall he sleep? And it shall come to pass, when he crieth unto me, that I will hear. For I am gracious.
You see? So, yo, don't be so hard. Now, this is talking about the person who is owed. Yo, don't be too harsh on your brother, man. He's downtrodden. He's low. He's already down. Don't kick him while he's down. Give him back his raiment when the sun goes down so he can sleep. And when he wakes up, you take it back as collateral because he still owes you. All right? Let's go to back to Matthew 5, verse 40.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 40. And if any man will sue thee at the law.
So if now this is talking about the person who owes. If anybody sue you at the law and you have to give collateral, right? Your cloak or whatever it may be, read.
And take away thy coats.
And they take away your coat, read.
Let him have thy cloak also.
Let him have something else also. Even if he doesn't return it sundown, meaning what? Suffer wrongfully. So the law is telling the person who's owed, hey, don't deal harshly. And here in Matthew 5, Christ is telling the person who owes the debtor, what? Hey, suffer wrongfully. Even if that person that you owe is dealing real harshly, guess what? You owe him. So it is what it is. Let the Lord deal with him. All right? Or her or whoever it may be. Give me Deuteronomy 24, verse 6.
Deuteronomy chapter 24 and verse 6.
And that's not to justify the evil that the person that's owed is doing. No, it's just telling the person who owes the debtor on how to stay righteous, to remain righteous. Like the title says, what is it? Righteous, the righteous response to wrong. All right. Suffer wrongfully. Don't go avenging yourself. Don't get bitter. Don't get angry at your brother. Read.
No man shall take the nether or the upper millstone to pledge, for he taketh a man's life to pledge.
So you see, that's what the person who's owed is not supposed to do. But if it happens, hey, you owe him. Suffer wrongfully, all right? Let's go back to Matthew 4. Matthew 5, my bad. Matthew 5, verse 40.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 40. And if any man will sue thee at the law, and take away thy coat, let him have thy cloak also. And whosoever shall compel thee to go a mile, go with him twain.
Go the extra mile. Read.
Give to him that asketh thee, and from him that would borrow of thee, turn not thou away.
Turn not away. So give your neighbor what he needs. If somebody is down, and let's say, was that in, give me Deuteronomy 15. Deuteronomy chapter 15. Don't withhold what you have, especially if you have an abundance. Don't withhold it. Do I have it written? No, I don't. Read verse 7.
Deuteronomy chapter 15 and verse 7. If there be among you a poor man of one of thy brethren, within any of thy gates in thy land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, thou shalt not harden thy heart, nor shut thine hand from thy poor brother.
You see, don't harden your heart. Don't be rebellious. Don't be evil. Don't be wise to do evil. Read.
But thou shalt open thine hand wide unto him, and shalt surely lend him sufficient for his need, and that which he wanteth.
Verse 10.
Verse 10. Thou shalt surely give him, and thine heart shall not be grieved when thou givest unto him.
Don't give grudgingly. Don't be grieved because you're helping your neighbor. Read.
Because that for this thing the Lord thy God shall bless thee in all thy works, and in all that thou puttest thine hand unto.
Do you believe that the Lord's going to bless you? Because if your heart is grieved, guess what? You don't believe it. You're bothered by giving it. You're just doing it to be seen. Oh, I'm helping you. Look, you see? I'm helping you. Or people know that you helped the person. Now, it's not a bad thing for people to know, but if that's why you're doing it, that's the only gratification you're getting out of it. You're being grieved. You're being bothered. You're thinking, oh, I'm not going to get my money back. Don't worry about it. Give me Sirach 14, verse 3, and then Sirach 29, verse 10.
Sirach chapter 14 and verse 3. Riches are not comely for a niggard. And what should an envious man do with money?
What should an envious man do with money? Why? Because he's doing it grudgingly. You just coveting more and more and more. Read 29, verse 10. What should an envious man do? You think we're working just to satisfy ourselves? No, it says put him to work, not just for themselves, but to help others. Read.
Sirach chapter 29 and verse 10. Lose thy money for thy brother and thy friend, and let it not rust under a stone to be lost.
Meaning you have enough. It's not like you're not going to eat because you're giving. No, you actually have enough, and you're just letting it rust underneath a rock in the bank or whatever. You're not doing anything with it, and this person needs it. You don't know that or understand that the Lord gave you abundance or gave you that little extra bit in order to help the person to see if you're going to be faithful and not give grudgingly or not think, oh, no, or lie and say, oh, no, I don't have it when you really do. And I'm talking about extra. I'm not talking about, oh, I got to pay my mortgage, my rent, my light bill. No, you actually have it. And you're not giving it because what? You're being covetous, or you give it grudgingly, or you just don't want to do it. And the person, your brother, your sister is going through tough times. And don't do that. The Lord sees it. Let's go back to Matthew 5.
Matthew chapter 5 and verse 42. Give to him that asketh thee, and from him that will borrow of thee, turn not thou away. Ye have heard that it hath been said, thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thine enemy.
All right, before we get there, give me 1 Peter 4, 15 and 16. And then there was the ones I didn't.
1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 15. But let none of you suffer as a murderer, or as a thief, or as an evildoer, or as a busybody in other men's matters.
Don't suffer in doing evil. Don't suffer wrong. Don't suffer because you're doing wrong. Read.
Yet if any man suffer as a Christian, let him not be ashamed.
Don't be ashamed if you're suffering wrongfully, because you're actually being merciful. You actually love your neighbor. You're not doing you're not doing things grudgingly. You're being taken advantage of. No, suffer it. It is what it is. Read.
But let him glorify God on this behalf.
You finished 16?
Yes,
okay, let's go back. Matthew 5.
Matthew chapter 5 and verse 43. Ye have heard that it hath been said, Thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thine enemy. But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you.
Mind you, remember the whole thought process behind what we've been reading so far. So once we get here, love your enemy or hate your, read that again, my bad, verse 43.
Verse 44.
43.
Verse 43, ye have heard that it hath been said, Thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thine enemy. But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you.
That despitefully use you because they become your enemy. Now you hate them. You have bitterness. They said something against you. So it says, do good to them that hate you. Pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you. This is talking about your own people. This is what this whole thing has been talking about. It's about our own people, the Israelites towards the Israelites. Finish that in verse 44.
And persecute you.
Let's prove it. Exodus 23, verse 4.
Exodus chapter 23 and verse 4. If thou meet thine enemy's ox or his ass going astray.
If you meet the person that's despitefully using you, that's persecuting you, that hates you, that's talking ish about you, that's lying on you, and wants nothing to do with you, you see his property or her property, and because they're doing evil towards you, you're like, you know what? Forget it. I'm not going to do nothing about it. Read.
Thou shalt surely bring it back to him again.
Yo, bring it back. Don't let what the person has done to you, the evil that person has done to you, affect how you move in the spirit. Read.
If thou see the ass of him that hateth thee lying under his burden.
The enemy that hates you. Read.
And wouldest forbear to help him. Thou shalt surely help with him.
You shall surely help that person. Don't stop helping the person just because there's a little controversy or some hatred or the person is doing evil to you. You don't have to make their problem your problem. Let the hate and the evil stay with them. Don't now make it your own and now you're rendering evil for evil. Don't do that. You finished there?
Yes, sir.
No, keep reading.
Verse 6. Thou shalt not rest the judgment of thy poor in his cause.
Okay, let's go now to Deuteronomy 22, verse 1. It's still talking about our own people. It's going into the law. But guess what? These Christians have a private interpretation and they want to add their own understanding into the scriptures. Give me Bible. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 1. Thou shalt not see thy brother's ox or his sheep go astray.
Deuteronomy, the book of Deuteronomy, is a second law. So whatever's in the book of Deuteronomy is basically reiterating what's already been written in Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, or Numbers. So here's letting you know who that enemy and that person that hates you in Exodus 23 is. Read verse 1 again.
Thou shalt not see thy brother's ox.
It's your brother who you have a problem with. Read.
Or his sheep go
astray. Or they have a problem with you. Read.
Or his sheep go astray. And hide thyself from them.
Don't hide yourself because that person is talking ish about you or did some kind of evil towards you, and now you see their property somewhere and you know it's theirs, and you're like, you know what? That person deserves their things to be lost or whatever. I'm not helping. Don't hide yourself. And if you do hide yourself, just because man don't see that you hid yourself, the Lord sees it. Read.
Thou shalt in any case bring them again unto thy brother.
Bring him again unto your brother or sister. If you see their property that you know is theirs, but just because they did some evil towards you doesn't mean you render that evil back. All right? Don't do that. Just because I have some kind of controversy or fault towards one another, don't do that. Don't render evil for evil. That's not how you deal with things. That's not how you deal with in the spirit. Let's get an example in 1 Samuel 18:28. The Lord calls us to peace. And this is an example of how we rectify a lot of the issues when we're dealing with one another. Hey, sometimes you got to take the low. Sometimes you got to take a hit. It is what it is. In the end, you know the Lord got your back, and you got to be faithful in that and walk accordingly. Read.
1 Samuel chapter 18 and verse 28. And Saul saw and knew that the Lord was with David, and that Michal, Saul's daughter, loved him. And Saul was yet the more afraid of David. And Saul became David's enemy continually.
You see, and Saul became David's enemy continually because there was Saul was envious of David, but David never retaliated against Saul. He knew that's the Lord's anointed. The Lord put him there in that position as king, so I got to abide by that. I can't go against that. I can't avenge myself. I can't bear a grudge. I'm not doing that. All right? Let's go back to, actually, let's get Micah 2. Micah 2. Let me see. Micah 2, verse 8.
Micah chapter 2 and verse 8. Even of late my people is risen up as an enemy. Ye pull off the robe with the garment from them that pass by securely as men averse from war.
You see, so we became each other's enemies. We were doing evil to one another. It's the same thing today. You walk down the street and you have anything that might look slightly nice, they're going to take it from you. They're going to want to take it from you. When we travel to these third world countries, you know, we got to, I make sure I don't wear no jewelry, no chain, nothing, because you're making yourself a target. And our people who, of course, they're suffering, but we're there to teach the word. We don't want to have distractions because of whatever else we're wearing. But this is the fact of the matter. We have become each other's enemies, and we have to suffer wrongfully and deal with it the right way, according to the scriptures. Right? Let's go back to Matthew chapter 5, verse 44.
Matthew chapter 5 and verse 44. But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you, that ye may be the children of your Father which is in heaven. For he maketh his sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust. For if ye love them which love you, what reward have ye? Do not even the publicans the same?
So this is the same sentiment that we read in 1 Peter 2. What is it that if you suffer and you get buffeted for the thing you did wrong? But it's thankworthy if you suffer wrongfully. So likewise here, what is it that you love the person and you treat the person that you love the right way? Everybody does that. Even people in the world do it. They treat the person that treat them right the right way. But how about if you treat your own people that are despitefully using you, that hate you, that do all this evil towards you? What if you love them and treat them the right way? That is thankworthy. That is you suffering as a Christian instead of you rendering evil for evil. Read 46 again.
For if ye love them which love you, what reward have ye? Do not even the publicans the same? And if you salute your brethren only, what do ye more than others? Do not even the publicans so? Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect.
So Christ concludes this chapter with, be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. He's letting us know, clean your mind up. Be perfect. Give me Deuteronomy 18, verse 13. This is nothing new. This is not new. This is in the law.
Deuteronomy chapter 18 and verse 13.
18:13.
Deuteronomy chapter 18 and verse 13. Thou shalt be perfect with the Lord thy God. For these nations which...
All right, that's the verse?
Yes, sir.
Read it again.
Verse 13. Thou shalt be perfect with the Lord thy God.
Thou shalt be perfect with the Lord thy God. Give me Genesis 17, verse 1. Be perfect with the Lord your God. It's in the law. Be perfect. Read.
Genesis chapter 17 and verse 1. And when Abram was 90 years old and 9, the Lord appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty God. Walk before me and be thou perfect.
Walk before him and be perfect. Give me Psalms 19 verse 7. What is it that makes us perfect? What is it that perfects us? Remember Matthew 5, Christ's been telling us how to deal with our own people, how to deal with the wrong that goes on amongst our own people, among ourselves. Read.
Psalms chapter 19 and verse 7. The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul.
So the law is what makes your mind perfect. If you're meditating on the law and how to deal with your people the right way, all right, to be merciful, to have right judgment, to have faith in the word, there's no way in hell that you're going to deviate and do your own thing. The law of the Lord is perfect. Be ye therefore perfect. All right? Clean the inner man. Give me an example, 1 Kings 11, verse 4. Be ye therefore perfect, as your Father in heaven is perfect. This is nothing new. Have the right mindset. Elijah has been sent to return the heart of the fathers to the children and the children's heart to the fathers, because we're going back, reading the things that are written aforetime for our comfort, our patience, that we may have hope. Read.
First Kings chapter 11 and verse 4. For it came to pass, when Solomon was old, that his wives turned away his heart after other gods, and his heart was not perfect with the Lord his God.
You see? So his heart wasn't perfect because he turned away into what? Idolatry. His mind went astray. Give me 1 Kings 15:14.
1 Kings chapter 15 and verse 14. But the high places were not removed. Nevertheless, Asa's heart was perfect with the Lord all his days.
So Asa's heart was perfect. He didn't have no malice, no guile, no evil, no bitterness. Read 9 verse 4.
1 Kings chapter 9 and verse 4. And if thou wilt walk before me as David thy father walked, in integrity of heart.
In integrity of heart, because it's not to say David did evil. We know the evil he did. But why? Read that again.
And if thou walk before me as David thy father walked, in an integrity of heart.
And an integrity of heart of your mind, read.
And in uprightness, to do according to all that I have commanded
To
thee.
do according to all that he commands us, read.
And will keep my statutes and my judgments, then I will establish the throne of thy kingdom upon Israel forever.
So how did David walk? He walked that when the Lord corrected him, he sincerely repented. That's what he did. He didn't reject the law of the Lord. He actually desired it. It was his delight to meditate on the law. He didn't reject it. This day and age, the so-called Christians, they reject the law. It's not a delight to them. So how are they being perfect in their mind? How are they walking in integrity of their heart? They're not. They're rejecting the Lord. They reject the law. When you reject the law, you're not walking perfectly. There's no way in hell. You don't want nothing to do with the law. You finish there?
No, sir.
Finish it.
As I promised to David thy father, saying, there shall not fail thee a man upon the throne of Israel.
All right, give me 2 Chronicles 25, verse 2.
2 Chronicles chapter 25 and verse 2. And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, but not with a perfect heart.
He did that which was right, but not with a perfect heart. Read.
Now it came to pass, when the kingdom was established to him, that he slew his servants that had killed the king his father.
That was verse 2?
This verse 3.
Okay, let's go to 1 Samuel 16:7.
First Samuel chapter 16 and verse 7. But the Lord said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance, or on the heights of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as man seeth. For man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart.
You see, he looketh at the heart. That's the verse?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go to Psalms 51, 3 and 4.
Psalms chapter 51 and verse 3. For I acknowledge my transgressions.
David acknowledges his transgressions. That's what we're supposed to do. Confess and forsake. Confess and forsake. Our people in this day and age do not want to confess their fault. When you're caught up in some kind of evil, you don't want to confess. The first thing that's natural to do is what? Lie, cover up. Even in the truth. A little lie here, a little lie there to cover up, to make yourself seem more righteous than what you really are. Don't cover it up. Confess it and forsake it, because you can't forsake it if you don't confess it. You can't forsake it if you don't repent from it and confess it, so you can be forgiven. If you don't repent, you're not forgiven. Read.
And my sin is ever before me. Against thee only have I sinned, and done this evil in thy sight, that thou mightest be justified when thou speakest, and be clear when thou judgest.
Give me Psalms 32, verse 2.
Psalm chapter 32 and verse 2. Blessed is the man unto whom the Lord imputeth not iniquity, and in whose spirit there is no guile. When I kept silence, my bones waxed old through my roaring all the day long. For day and night thy hand was heavy upon me. My moisture is turned into the drought of summer. Selah. I acknowledge my sin unto thee. In my iniquity have I not hid. I said, I will confess my transgressions unto the Lord. And thou forgavest the iniquity of my sin.
Give me Proverbs 28, verse 13. I'm not going to go to it because that's another class that I have. Give me Proverbs 28, verse 13. Then we're going to read Job 1, verse 8.
Proverbs chapter 28 and verse 13. He that covereth his sins shall not prosper.
If you cover your sin, you're not going to prosper. Be ye therefore perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect.
But whoso confesseth and forsaketh them shall have mercy.
Confess and forsake, because now you have what? You're being sincere. You're acknowledging your sins, and you're actually having delight in the law of the Lord. To do the law of the Lord and not reject it. Read. Finish there, me?
Yes, sir.
Job 1, verse 8.
Job chapter 1 and verse 8. And the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feareth God and escheweth evil?
One that fears God and eschews evil. That's to be. Read that again.
And the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man?
A perfect and upright man. Why is he perfect and upright? Read.
One that feareth God.
He fears God. What we read, give me that in Psalms 111, verse 10. Then give me Ecclesiastes 12:13.
Psalm chapter 111, verse 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Not your own thoughts and understanding. Read.
A good understanding, having all they that do his commandments.
Have all they that do his commandments. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding, have all they that do the commandments. Read.
His praise endureth forever.
His praise endures forever. Because if we keep his laws, statutes, and commandments in our heart, if we fear him and his judgments, guess what? It's praising him. These are his words, his laws. It's not our own doings. We're praising him by adhering to the scriptures. Go back to Job. Actually, Ecclesiastes 12:13.
Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments.
Fear God and keep his commandments. The same thing we just read in Psalms 111, verse 10.
For this is the whole duty of man.
This is why we're here. This is our purpose. Let's go back to Job 1 and 8.
Job chapter 1 and verse 8. And the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man?
A perfect and upright man. Why?
one that feareth
He
God,
fears God, the beginning of wisdom, read.
and escheweth evil.
He forsakes evil. He keeps the commandments. Give me Job 28, verse 28. Remember, a good understanding have all they that do the commandments. Read.
Job chapter 28 and verse 28. And unto man he said, behold, the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom.
That's wisdom. Read.
And to depart from evil is understanding.
And to depart from evil is understanding. To depart, he that escheweth evil is understanding. You show you have understanding by eschewing evil, by departing from evil. That's how you fear the Lord. That's how you walk perfectly. By what? Meditating on the law day and night. Having that be your delight. Give me Psalms 101 verse 2.
Psalms chapter 101 verse 2. I will behave myself wisely in a perfect way. Oh, when wilt thou come unto me? I will walk within my house with a perfect heart.
You see, I will behave myself wisely in a perfect way and walk within my house with a perfect heart. Give me Psalm 78, verse 36 and 37. Two more scriptures after this.
Psalms chapter 78 and verse 36. Nevertheless, they did flatter him with their mouth, and they lied unto him with their tongues. For their heart was not right with him.
For their heart was not right, because they're saying things, but their mind ain't right. They're saying things against the Lord, and their mind ain't right. Read.
Neither were they steadfast in his covenant.
So read that 37 again.
Verse 37. For their heart was not right with him, neither were they steadfast in his covenant.
Because if you're not steadfast in his covenant, your heart ain't right. Your heart ain't perfect. You're not walking perfectly. You're not eschewing evil. You're not fearing the Lord. You're doing whatever the hell you want to do. You're doing things to be seen, just like the Pharisees. Give me Psalms chapter 40, verse 8. Then go to Psalms 119.
Psalms chapter 40 and verse 8. I delight to do thy will, O my God. Yea, thy law is within my heart.
He delights to do his will, because his law, the Lord's law, the God's laws are in his heart. So he delights in the law. He doesn't reject it. He delights in the law. Give me Psalms 119, verse 70.
Psalms chapter 119 and verse 70. Their heart is as fat as grease, but I delight in thy law.
Give me 77.
Verse 77. Let thy tender mercies come unto me, that I may live. For thy law is my delight.
For the law is his delight. That's what he's meditating on. The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. So if the law is in your heart, guess what? Your mind, your heart is perfect. You're not thinking evil upon your brother. You're not trying to get revenge or vengeance on your brother. You're not hating. You don't have malice in your heart. You're not looking at your sister in lust. You're not dealing treacherously with your wife. All right? Read 92.
Verse 92. Unless thy law had been my delights, I should then have perished in mine affliction.
Read it again.
Unless thy law had been my delights, I should then have perished in my affliction.
Read it again.
Verse 92. Unless thy law had been my delights, I should then have perished in my affliction.
Because he wouldn't be sincere. He would not have repented, and the Lord would have judged him further, more harshly. Read 93.
I will never forget thy precepts, for with them thou hast quickened me.
Thou hast quickened me. You have corrected me and changed me. The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul, quicken the soul. All right? Give me 174, same chapter.
Psalm chapter 119, verse 174. I have longed for thy salvation, O Lord, and thy law is my delight.
See, his law is my delight. His law is what you meditate on. Joshua 1 and 8. Meditate on this day and night. No, it's okay. You don't have to get it. We're going to finish off now with Romans 7, verse 22. Romans chapter 7, verse 22. Actually, and then we're going to go back to Matthew 5:48, and then we're done.
Sir. Romans chapter 7 and verse 22. For I delight in the law of God after the inward man.
After the inward man, your spirit should delight in the law of God and not reject it. You shouldn't get angry when you get corrected. That's the flesh that gets angry. But guess what? You're supposed to bring this body into subjection and delight in the law. Delight in doing things the right way. Delight in correction. Be sincere. Read.
But I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind.
You see, so there's another law within this flesh that's warring against the law of the spirit, the mind, that you should be delighting in. Read.
And bringing me into captivity to the law of sin, which is in my members.
That's not to say because you delight in the law of the Lord that you're not going to go through things in the flesh. That you're not going to have these malicious and evil thoughts just pop up. No, but when they do, what are you supposed to do? Forsake it. Get rid of it. Don't entertain it. Don't give provisions to the flesh. Like James 1, don't let your temptations and give me James 1, actually, real quick, because I'm horrible at paraphrasing. James 1, 14.
James chapter...
Actually, 13 and 14.
Yes, sir. James chapter 1 and verse 13. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God. For God cannot be tempted with evil. Neither tempteth he any man.
Read.
But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed.
Don't let your own lust, draw you away. Don't be enticed by it. Don't entertain it. Because we're in this flesh, of course, things are going to happen. Don't entertain it. Don't be enticed by it. Don't let it court you. Don't be drawn away by it. Because the spirit goes against the flesh. But you have to delight in the law of the Lord in order to fight those things off. Because if you don't have a scripture or a law to go against these evil thoughts, you're going to keep entertaining them. You're going to be thinking, okay, it's just a thought. No, it's not just a thought. That's the beginning. That's the seed of evil planted in you. You have to delight in the law of the Lord. All right? Be therefore, let's finish off Matthew 5, verse 48.
Matthew chapter 5 and verse 48.
Now we understand what that's talking about in Matthew 5. Read.
Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect.
Walk uprightly. Walk with a perfect mind, perfect heart. Because if all that's in here is the law of the Lord, there's no way in hell you're going to act on evil. You only act upon things that are what? In your mind that you think about. There's no way in hell if you don't think about no evil, no malice, no hatred, no lust, none, that you're going to do these things. There's no way in hell. So guess what? It all starts up here. Delight in the law of the Lord and be ye therefore perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. With that, Israel, shalom, Most High Christ bless. Till next time, all right, just stay in the spirit. Shalom.
Yeah.